All right, so in this video, I'm going to interrupt your regularly scheduled social programming to go over something that I like to call the happiness index. Now, it's nothing new that in the society you and I live in, it seems like from the day that we're born, we're conditioned to do a very specific thing. What is that thing? Go to school, don't ask questions, memorize the stuff that they teach us because that somehow must be the truth. Go to college, get a job. Once we get a job, start buying stuff. You see, it's so weird. If you look around in society, just go outside, get in your car, drive around. What is it that you see? Almost everything that you see is just shopping. Nothing else really for us to do. Not so much for us to do. All the ads we see, mainstream media, it's all about us being good, happy consumers, getting a job, going and buying stuff. So I want to try to break this cycle a little bit and go into what I call, like I said, the happiness index, which is a little bit counterintuitive to what most people are programmed to think. And again, I just want you to go back to the initial disclaimer. I'm not trying to change your mind here, all right? I'm not trying to get you to abandon your belief system and adopt my belief system. I'm just here merely talking, just to talk. So let's go into this concept. Let's go into this concept of the happiness index, all right? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you here the happiness index. So let's say right here is just your normal happiness index. This is just normally where you normally are. This is the amount of happiness that you just normally have, all right? Now, what happens in our society, for some reason, what we're taught to do from the time that we're little, what we're taught to do is we're taught that we need to give up some of our happiness. Come down here. So we're just naturally at this happiness index, and what we're taught is we need to give up some of our happiness and bring our happiness index down to here. So we need to get rid of some of our happiness because we need to get a job and go work so that we can get some money. But don't worry, even though we're giving up our happiness to go get a job, let's face it, most people, you may be one of them, but most people are doing a job that they don't love. How do I know? And here's the test to figure out, hey, do I really love my job or not? If your boss or whoever's in charge of you, if you're self-employed, that's also fine. Ask yourself, whatever money that you're getting from your job, if you could get that same amount of money but not have to go to your job, not have to do whatever it is that you're doing. So you're doing something in exchange for money, right? You're giving up most likely some of your happiness so that you can get some money. So you're doing something in exchange for money. So let's just say if I could just give you that same amount of money, would you still continue to do what you were doing? Or would you say, no, I got the money, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. Would you, or on the other hand, whatever it is that you're doing, if we took the money away, so now there's no money for whatever it is that you're doing, would you continue to do that? Or would you say, nah, it's not worth it. I don't want to do this because I'm not getting any money. So if the answer to either one of those questions is no, most likely you don't love what you're doing. So what you're doing is you're taking your happiness index from here and you're getting rid of some of your happiness. You're trading your happiness in exchange for some money. So they're telling you, okay, you're going to get some money. But don't worry. You're going to be able to take that money and somehow, and see, again, this is society's programming where we're made to believe that things are going to make us happy. We're made to believe that if we go buy this thing, we're going to be happy. If we go get that thing, we're going to be happy. That's why all the commercials that you see, people are smiling. Why? Because you're being conditioned to believe that whenever you go buy something, that is what's going to actually make you happy. So you start out with this happiness right here. You give up some of it. You give up some of it so that you can get some money, and then you're made to believe that, okay, hey, don't worry, you can buy back some of your happiness. Okay? So we did that. Did you see what we did? We started here with this happiness. We got rid of some of our happiness so we started here with this happiness. We got rid of some of our happiness so that we could go get our job, do something that we really don't want to do something that we really don't enjoy doing, so that we could get some of this money. And in exchange, what we're going to do is we're going to take this money that we got and we're going to go buy back our happiness. But hopefully you guys can see on this chart, see this right here? This is our happiness deficit. We're missing some happiness. We weren't able to buy back all our happiness. We got rid of some of our happiness to go be the person society wants us to be, that we're programmed to be, to go get a job, trade our time for some money, doing something we really don't want to do, so that we can get that money. But don't worry, we'll take the money, we'll go buy back our happiness. And we've done this, and we're still left with the deficit. We're missing some happiness. We don't have as much happiness as when we started. And you probably feel this way. I know, because I felt like this for a long time. I felt like this. And I was just always thinking, man, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up. And what do they tell you? What do they tell you? Don't worry. We understand. You're missing some of this, so no problem. What do they tell you to do? Okay. This is now your new happiness. All right. This is where you're at. They're like, okay, don't worry. I understand you're at a happiness deficit. So why don't you just repeat this process again? Now you can get rid of more of your happiness. You can get rid of more of your happiness. You're going to get some more money. And then you can buy back your happiness. That's what they teach us. But now look what happens. Now we have even less happiness. And they want us to believe that if we keep doing this over and over again, somehow we're going to have extra happiness. But you can see it doesn't work like this. You can see it doesn't work like this. We're much better off to not do this. All right? So the best way, again, and this is just my stupid opinion, the best way that I can tell you to get around this, because in my opinion, this is a scam and you will never get out ahead. All right? Now, I know, because I felt like this before. I went through this cycle over and over and over and over again. I would go to work at a job that I didn't like. The only reason I was going to that job was to get some money. And even I thought that, oh, I can get that money. I'll go buy a new TV. That will make me happy. I'll go buy a new car. That will make me happy. I'll go buy some new clothes. That will make me happy. And I went through this wheel, and I went through this wheel, and I went through this wheel, and I was always missing happiness. So even I thought, well, I'll just sell more of my time. I'll just, I'm missing some happiness, so I'll repeat this cycle again. I'll do it again. And each and every time, all I was doing, I was never getting any more happy. I was always just increasing my happiness deficit. I was always just digging a hole, a bigger and bigger and bigger hole, getting less and less and less happy. I would work more and more, sell more and more of my time to get more and more money, and I would be so drained and so unhappy, and no matter what I would go and try to buy, I would never actually get my happiness back. Maybe you feel like that. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you love what you do. Maybe you're so happy doing what you do. But here is my suggestion and what I figured out and what I do. So we're going to start with the same happiness index. So I want you to realize over here in this system, I want you to realize and see in this system that you've already spent all your money to get back here. So you have no money because you spent all your money to try to buy your happiness back. And you only have this much happiness. You started out here. So you started out here with this much happiness, and no money. All right? And where did you end up? You ended up here with this much happiness and no money, because you spent all your money here trying to buy back your happiness. So I want you to see in this system that you started out up here at the top with this much happiness and you didn't have any money. So you decided, okay, hey, I'm going to give up some of my happiness, I'll make some money, and then I'll buy back my happiness. And you realized, oh, I have this happiness deficit. Okay, so maybe let me try this process again for some reason, because everybody's telling me this is what I should do. So let me try this process again. So you tried it again. You got rid of even more happiness to get even more money. You spent that money to try to buy back your happiness, and you were still left with no happiness, with no money and a negative happiness index. So now you're missing some of your happiness, and you still don't have any money. And I'm sure many of you feel like this today. I'm sure so many of you actually feel like this today. You look at your bank account, you look at your savings account. Let's be honest, not a lot of money's in there. Am I right? You got a whole bunch of money saved up. We can look at the statistics, but odds are, if we want to be honest, and again, it's just me and you here. No one else is here. Look around. There's no one else here. It's just me and you. So let's just be honest. Now, you can lie to me all day long, but there's only one person you should never lie to, and that's yourself. So be honest with yourself. Are you so happy with the amount of money in your bank account and your savings account and your investment account? Is it such a huge amount of money, or is it basically close to zero? Well, what about your happiness? How happy are you? How much happiness do you have? Are you like, woohoo? Or are you kind of like, man, I'm in a hole. I don't feel how I'm going to get out. This system, in my opinion, is a scam. It sucks. This next system, this is a system that I live by, and I personally, and again, this is just my belief. I'm not trying to convert you here. I'm not trying to convert you and make you my disciple, but this is just my belief. You can take it, you can leave it. So the way that I see it, so we start here. We start here with this happiness index, and we never get rid of our happiness for money. So let's say now we have no money because we don't get rid of our happiness because we don't have any money. We're still better off than we were in this system over here. Because in this system over here, we ended up with no money and less happiness. All right? So we, right now, compared to this other system, let's say right here, compared to this other system, we have no money like we do in the other system. So we still have no money. Both systems we have no money. But in this system, we have this much extra happiness right here. You see, here we're at a deficit. We were able to get back this much happiness. We have this big of a happiness deficit. Here, we don't have any money, but we have a lot more happiness. All right? So, now, what I propose is this is doing your job. This is just going to a job because you need a job, you need to make money, so you're willing to sacrifice your happiness. This is you not sacrificing your happiness and you doing what you love, doing what you're passionate about, doing what you would do for free, all right? So if you can find, hey, what is it that I love? What is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I would literally do for free? That's what you do. Because guess what? If you don't make any money, you're still going to have your happiness, and every single time you're going to be better than you were in this situation right here. So you make no money because you're just doing what you love, but you still have your happiness. But the odds are, if you do what you love and you do what you're actually passionate about and you do what you would actually do for free, odds are you will find a way to monetize that and you will make some money. So now you'll have some money. So guess what happens when that happens? Now that may not happen day one, day two. For me, when I first got into the online world, it took me about 18 months before I could turn my passion, before I could turn what I love doing and what I would actually do for free and what I was doing for free, before I figured out, okay, hey, how can I monetize this? How can I make money from my passion? How can I chase my passion? How can I do the stuff that I love to do, that I'm happy doing? And how can I make money from it? All right? So it took me like 18 months. Now, once you figure this out, and if you stay with it and you're consistent enough and you decide, you know, hey, at all costs, I'm not going to this model over here because this model is broken. I don't like this model. This model is broken. If you stay with it, you'll figure out how to monetize. And once you figure out how to monetize, this is where the beauty comes in. All right, this is where it begins to get exponential. Because if you don't monetize, guess what? You still have no money. You're in the same situation financially as you were over here. You have no money, but you still have your happiness. You have additional happiness. Now, once you figure out how to monetize, that's where it becomes great, because you now actually have money. And because you have money, because you actually have money, and you didn't have to give up your happiness, you didn't have to give up your happiness to get that money, you're going to find that it makes you even more happy. That's what you're going to find. You're going to find that you get even more happy because you're doing what you love and you're still able to actually make money. So do you see how you win over here? You have more happiness and you have more money. And all you do is you stop doing stuff that you don't want to do. You stop going to a job that you hate, and you begin to follow your passion. You begin to follow and do the things that you're passionate about and that you love to do and that you would actually do for free. To give you an example, I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to give you an example here. We can go to YouTube, and I'm going to search here on YouTube, T90 official. Now, I do play games sometimes. I play this game right here. Actually, it's called Age of the Empires 2 Definitive Edition. It's an old game built by Microsoft. And this guy is actually a perfect example of doing what he's passionate about, doing what he would do for free, doing what actually makes him happy, and monetizing it and making money at the same time. So literally all this guy does is stream people playing this video game. He plays the game himself. He streams and watches other people play the game and streams it online and just basically gives like sports commentary of people playing the game. I'll show you like an example of what's happening here. So he's literally just streaming this game, okay? So he's streaming this game, and while he streams this game, he just gives commentary about what each player's doing. He tells stories. He talks about strategies, and he gets paid for this. People come and give him tips and donations for his streaming. People buy things from him, strategy guides on how to play this game. This guy makes over $1,000 a week. That's over $50K a year that he makes doing something that he loves, doing something that he's passionate about, doing something that he would do for free. I know because I've talked to this guy before. I've sponsored one of his tournaments before. I also know because I've watched several of his streams, and he talks about his life before he started streaming and how he used to, not make any money from this, but he kept at it, and he kept at it because he loved it and he enjoyed it, and eventually he monetized it, and now this is his entire income. This is his entire job, is doing what he loves, all right? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that made sense to you about this happiness index and kind of how that works. If it didn't make sense, that's totally fine. I told you before, I'm not trying to change your mind here. I'm not trying to change your mind here. I'm not trying to get you to go quit your job that you hate and move into doing the things that you love and truly make you happy. If you'd rather go to work if you'd rather go to work at a place that you don't really want to go to and do a job that you don't really want to do for, let's face it, what amounts to a very nominal and trivial amount of money, where at the end of the day, you don't have any money left over. You don't have any money left over anyways. So what are you going to work for? What are you trading away your time for? What are you trading away your life for? You got millions of dollars in the bank. Is it for all that stuff that you bought with that money? So that will be another video about the stuff that we're taught to buy, all this stuff. But is that what you're really going to work for? Are you going to work to buy all that stuff? One thing I like to do, I'm going to tell you in the next video, one of the things that I like to do. But this was the video about the happiness index. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some value from it. If not, that's also fine, because like I said, I'm just here talking just to talk.